YouTube. Thanks for visiting us here with Cooking with G-Dubs, and I'm your host, G-Dubs. And what I'm going to cook for you today is something special. I'm going to make some ribeye steak, and that's what we have right here. And the way we're going to do it is I'm going to put it on the grill. So I'm going to season it up here, make my marinade, and then we're going to take it outside and we're going to grill it. All right, so let's get started. What I have right in front of you here is a few ingredients that I'm going to use to make my sauce, my marinade, and I'm going to use this to season up my meat. All right, but before I got to that, I had to first wash my meat. And what I did was I used vinegar and hot water. So I used about a half a cup of white vinegar, and then I poured it on the steak, and then afterwards I massaged the meat with that, and then I poured hot tap water over it, and then I massaged the meat, and then I rinsed it off twice just to make sure we get all the residuals off of it. And then when I was done, I used the paper towel to tap it to get a lot of the moisture off the surface of it so that our meat could be able to absorb into the meat pretty quickly, and it'll minimize the amount of smoking we have outside. All right, so that's what we did to prepare our meat. So now let's get started on our marinade. So what I have right here is about 1/4 cup of the cocoa aminos, the soy substitute, or you can be able to use soy sauce for that. And then I also have some Worcestershire sauce, and 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce is what I used here. And then here, this is approximately about 2 tablespoons of mustard, of yellow mustard. Put that here. And then again, we have about 2.5 tablespoons of ketchup. And then we have our Èpís. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you're going to see how I make this. And what this is a mixture of different fresh herbs and seasonings that we put together to create this liquid. Let's check out my channel on Cooking with G-Dubs, and on my channel you'll see the video of how to make this. And once you make this, it'll make all of your ingredients absolutely fantastic. We'll put that in. And last but not least, we have our a half a tablespoon of our salt. Let me put that in. And then once we have that in place, then we take our whisk, and then we just whisk it all together. And this shouldn't take no time. And then when I'm done, see this how quick it was? When I'm done, it looks just like this. You see? That's what it looks like. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, set this aside, and then I'm going to take my seasoning and I'm going to put it on both sides of my steak. And this marinade is absolutely delicious. And what you want to do is after you season it on both sides, then what you could do is you take your steak and you sit it on the side for about a good 30 minutes. All right. So now we do one side, then we flip it over, and then we do our other side. And you notice I'm not using the same hand. So now we take one hand to season and one hand to rub, because you don't want to make yourself sick by using the same hand to touch your meat and everything, because that's not really good for your health anyway. All right, it'll make you sick. All right. So now we have this well seasoned. You want to make sure you coat your steak really, really well. And what we're going to do is we're going to save some of this sauce for later, okay? All right, and that's it. So now after 30 minutes, then we're going to take it out onto the grill, and then we're going to put it on the heat to get it cooked, and it'll cook in no time. It's like 10 minutes to get it knocked out. All right. So without further delay, let's go out on the grill. All right, YouTube, now I have my grill, the temperature gauge showing about 400 degrees, and it's nice and hot. So what we're gonna do now is, I had already pre-cleaned, I scrubbed the grills with the brush to make sure all the cooties are off of it, and it's nice and hot. So now what I'm gonna do one more time is I'm gonna hit it with the brush to make sure everything is off. And now it's ready. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna hit my grill with some non-stick cooking spray. And now it's nice and hot. And then we put our meat on it. And the way I like going doing my steaks is I like to have it on the heat about 2 minutes per side, and we keep flipping it. So we're gonna let this, it's on high heat, we're gonna let this heat up really well for the next about I would give it about 3 minutes. And then we're gonna come back and flip it onto the other side. But in the meantime, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this inside, wash this off, so when my meat is ready, I could be able to put it right back. All right, it's been about 3 minutes. So now let's see what it's talking about. Look at that. Oh man, it's looking real good, YouTube. It doesn't take long. I like my steak medium well, so it doesn't take that long. So you see, it's looking really awesome. And then I'm gonna give it another 3 minutes on this side, and we're gonna turn it around one more time and then turn it again, and then we'll be done. All right, YouTube. Now look at that. It's looking scrumptious by the second. All right, we're gonna flip it over one more time. And you remember earlier, I had my the marinade that we had saved? Well, we're gonna do it this time. We're gonna take our marinade, and then we're gonna brush it one more time on our meat. And you're gonna see the amount of flavor that's on this thing. It's gonna be absolutely spectacular. And those of you who don't have a grill, what you could do is the same thing in your oven under broil, and you do it the same principle, the same process. Because the broil gets your oven to like 500 degrees, or like 450, close to 500, and we do the exact same thing, all right? So if you don't have a grill, don't worry about it. You could do it in your oven under broil, but you just have to just flip it over a couple of times, and you can be able to do the same thing and get very similar results, all right? So I'm gonna give this another minute on this side. I'm gonna flip it around, and I'm gonna put the sauce on the opposite side, let that cook, and flip it one more time, and then we're ready to plate. All right. I'll flip it over one more time. And as you can see, it's starting to look like you're ready to dig in. So we're gonna put a little bit more sauce on this side. And that way, once we plate it, you don't have to put any more sauce or anything on it. It's already included. All right. Now we're gonna let this, give this about a minute, and then we're ready to end result, YouTube. See, look at that. Don't that look delicious? I know you want to reach through the camera and reach through your phone, and or if you're watching on TV, reach through your TV and grab a piece. But you know what? I'm gonna let you know what it tastes like. But before I cut it, I want to let it sit for about 5 minutes so that the juices could be able to evenly distribute in the meat, and then we're gonna plate it, and then I'm gonna let you know what it tastes like. We'll be right back. All right, YouTube, now it's time to taste it. Look at that. See, it's medium well. See, it is really lightly pink on the inside and nice and juicy. It is tender. Oh, look at all that juice falling off of it. Look at that. Look at that. Don't that. This is just incredible. All right, you ready? Oh, man. As my shirt says, unapologetically dope. This food is dope. That's what we used to say back in the 90s. When something was really good, it was dope. And I must say this was fantastic. Delicious. All right, YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Tell a friend to tell a friend about what you see here. Cook it with G-Dubs. I put a dish on every week so that way you guys can have a variety of different things you can choose from. Please tell your friends and family to check us out. And until the next video, YouTube, peace.
Baby, baby, baby.